Good morning. It is May 31st, the very last day of May, and this is Wednesday, so it's Places of Opposites. It may also be a wacky Wednesday, but we're just going to go with Places of Opposites. Today I'm going to be using the Osho Zen Tarot and the Angel Tarot. And as I was praying and meditating this morning, it looks like we're going to do a card from each for each spot, so that'll be 10 cards total. Can't say it's never happened before, but it doesn't happen all that often, but that's the guidance I get. So, just gonna start. Again, yawning, just clearing a little bit of energy out of my space. Start with the Osho Zen. And the top card, the first card we pull, is the card that's reflective of things that you know about, things that are on your mind, things that are kind of in your awareness or your focus. And the second card, the card for the bottom, is the card that is opposite of that, or things that you are unaware of or subconsciously reacting to. Sometimes it's just things that you haven't noticed yet. Top half here. Right. And the card to the left is, looks like today it's going to be more where we're coming from, but it's also our analytical wisdom, the way our minds process information, the way we think about things. And the difference between the top and the left is the top is your awareness and the left is how you think. And to the right is our emotional wisdom, where we're headed, the direction we want to take, kind of the urgings of our heart, how we feel about things. So it looks like all three of these want to come up, and that's a lot. So I'm just going to go with those two, I guess. Oh, and the center card is the theme, the overall energy of what's going on. Or if you're asking if you've thought of or asking a very specific question, oftentimes it's the resolution, the action step, the quote answer. So, and just because they're so large, I'm going to do it side by side. This way. So I really like using the Osho Zen and the Angel Tarot together. Doesn't happen as often as I would think, but the Osho Zen Tarot is just coming from more of a strategic place of how to. So each card in the deck, while based on traditional tarot, has more of an aspect of how to work with it. And the Angel Tarot, while coming from the traditional tarot, has more guidance to it. So where your help is. Alright, so for the top from the Angel deck, you can't see that, I guess, but that's alright. From the bottom, opposite of that. I have to shovel each time. Okay. I know these Places of Opposites videos tend to be a little bit longer, so I'm just trying to speed it up, but no cutting corners today. Bottom card. One. the left. To the right again, 2 cards. Interesting. And in the center. Let's have a lot of emotional wisdom today. Which, you know, your feelings, the way you feel, is your most direct connection to your guidance. So, kind of makes sense. And the center. All right. So maybe the blessings of Spring Being, whatever information comes forth today will benefit each of us in our spiritual growth, awareness, and understanding. And that whenever somebody finds this video, that it has the information they need. Last bit of information from the Places of Opposites is that it is a 10-day window. So it goes from last weekend through today and on to next Wednesday. So they do overlap. But that's just how time is, and that's how life is. All right, in the top, we have creativity, the Empress. Right now, I think, at least it's been pretty clear to me in the cards over the past 3 weeks that we're really working on what we want to bring forth as a next step in our lives and our path. And so this card is just really, we're aware of our potential. And you're saying, you know, to really, don't put limits on it. Don't put the caution, safety path on your creativity. Let it flow. Be open to just those zany connections from one thought to the other, from one process to the other. Just allow yourself to, you know, if you're an artist type, to just sit and let the pencil flow on the paper without trying to pre-plan what that's going to be. Related to business and other ventures, they're saying it's more that card we saw yesterday of really filling in the details, completing the picture. Bring all your creativity to bear, not just where you, quote, think you need it. And in the angel deck, the top is the 9 of Fire. This is that card where you have put so much energy and things have been going so fast, and all of your creative energy and the action and all that, you just get kind of to a point where you're like, are we there yet? Is it done yet? If you were pregnant, this would be like the last few weeks before birth, where things feel done, you're ready to give birth, but it hasn't happened yet. And obviously you can't give up at that point. You've got to see it through until it's ready to be birthed. So this is a card about patience. It's also a card about not giving up. That even though it feels like you've done everything you can and you're not quite there yet, to just let the energy continue to flow. Let your creativity flow a little bit more. Lots of birth pictures in this too, the Empress and the 9 of. So just know that you're getting really close to that moment of what you're creating being actually out there in the world. All right. Opposite of that, interesting. This is a mental card in this deck, which means our mind, and it's sorrow, it's grief. You know, I was just looking at this, as we move forward into something new, often there are the things we have to let go of. And sometimes we don't give them proper recognition. We don't give ourselves proper space to be like, this is now going to change. This will no longer be that way. And the way that we manage our time and the things that we have time for now, once we give birth to something new, drastically changes. Again, I'm just getting that birth analogy of when you have a newborn baby, all the focus comes to them. So friendships, even your romantic partnerships, all those things tend to get put on the back burner as you are caring for this newborn. And there's a lot of sorrow and grief of losing or giving up the things that were as you're giving birth to something new. So allow yourself the process of recognizing what's going to change and what you have to let go of and what's going to go to the back burner, and allow yourself to be sad about it, but don't allow that sadness to keep you from moving forward. And in the angel deck, 5 of water. This is about things not turning out emotionally kind of the way you thought. And it's your choice whether you focus on what you have or what you've lost. 5s are free will choice cards. That's why it is your choice of what you focus on. You're going to feel both. You're going to know that you still have, in most traditional decks and in this one, 2 cups that are upright holding things, and 3 that have spilt, 3 that are lost. So where's your focus going to be? And it's not it's not about denying that the loss has happened. It's about not focusing on the loss. It's about allowing feelings about the loss to be there, but keeping your focus on what you still have. So it's always magic to me how these just come together. And yet it's not, because, God's amazing. All right. From the left, which I saw is where we're coming from, how we think about things. This is the 2 of fire, and they call it possibilities. This is just that desire to create something and just knowing not wholly what it's going to look like, but just that spark, that idea. And it looks like even though you're ready to give birth to something new here, and it's in the finishing stages, that you still have new ideas coming. They're saying that's why it's really important right now to keep allowing your creativity to flow and to keep finishing the details on that picture, so to speak, of what you want to create, the nuances, the flavorings that your mind is still going to come up with ideas. They also say, though, that to not, make sure that they're in flow with what you're creating, that they're not a distraction towards something new before you get this finished. I keep coming back to this 9 because it's really important. You are so close to manifesting and having this thing you've been working on so long that there are energies that are usually internal, fears or what am I going to lose, that want to distract us and push us onto other things. And so use these new ideas as the decorations, the flavors, the completion of the current picture, and not a distraction to move beyond it before it's done. And in the angel deck, she was here yesterday, have the Queen of Fire. And they're saying that this is just that passionate focus, that even pushiness, and that mentally what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, what you need. It's communicating it, it's having that passion about it, and in a way not taking no for an answer. So it's also, in line with this distraction energy. It's also not getting your own way, not letting your self-doubts hamper you, but rather focus on your strengths, being self-confident, and moving forward. All right, emotional wisdom. There's 2 cards in both decks for this one. Stress and adventure. So this looks like it's, the emotional wisdom of what the next step is. It's going to be super exciting, this new adventure, this new thing, all of the, you're leaving on a trip sort of feeling. It's all of the possibilities, but beyond thought form and into the reality and how you feel about them, and the butterflies in your stomach. But it can cause a lot of stress. And so they're saying really to Again, it's about focus. It's about where you keep your focus. It's about what you choose to focus on. Very apropos that this is the suit of emotions, and we're looking at the emotion side here. But as you're moving forward and as you're going, keeping your focus on the excitement and the adventure, but not ignoring the stress. You're going to have to do things to manage your stress. You're going to have to do yoga. You're going to have to take walks. You're going to have to take time out and breathe. You're going to have to maybe make lists so you can organize what needs to be done. Whatever those things are that work for you, that allow you to not be distracted by the stress, not be overwhelmed, not be worn out, you've got to manage these things. And, you know, your emotional wisdom here, feel your way through it. Keep focused on the adventure, manage the stress. And in the angel deck, woohoo! 6 of air and the Archangel Jophiel with the star. And again, this is kind of the awareness that things are now going to go smoothly in a direction. The 6 of air is that mental break where you can actually, having made the choice of what you want to focus on, you've got your directions and you're just going. And there's not a lot of angst in that. It's really easy to be taken along and carried. And in that regard, I see it matching it more with the adventure card because you're just going to go. And Jophiel here, she's bringing you the message of focusing on the beautiful things, focusing on just knowing that the hard part is over and that you're moving forward into the part that you get to enjoy. But sometimes that transition still doesn't feel quite enjoyable. And the bottom of this card says, happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. So enjoy the moment, but don't think of it as the end. Think of it as the start of the adventure. So, all right, and that leads us to the center. Integration. This is just that whole picture of giving birth to the new, and then how it changes your life and how you become a whole new you in this moment. You're still in part the you that you've always been, but you're totally different than you've ever been before. And your life is about to be totally different. And it's just learning how to create balance and wholeness and enjoyment through that process. And for the most part, it's a joyful thing. There are going to be moments of sorrow and the things that you miss from the way life was. But there are also just so much to be said about where you're going. But the whole key, they're just really showing me that the yin yang and the wheel spinning is just pulling in all the pieces and making space for all the things you need and learning how to be this new version of you doing this new thing, caring for this new project or this new baby or this new adventure. So integrate. Take your time with it. Things are going to be moving quickly in a direction, but as you integrate, make sure you take time for yourself. Again, I just keep seeing yoga, going for walks, those kinds of things. And I should mention this is a major arcana. This is 14, and this is 12. On the angel side, I was just saying, you need the time to integrate. And this is just, there will be times where it feels like, even though you've given birth to this new thing and you're doing this new thing, that you're still stuck, that nothing's really changing. But part of that is you have to bring yourself around to the newness and a new way of doing things and having new perspectives on what's fulfilling and how you get there. the actions that you've already taken are giving birth to the new. So it's not so much about focusing on what action do I need to take. It's more about focusing on how do I need to view what I've created and the way my life is going to be so that I can fully enjoy this new process, so that I'm not stressed. And so it's about having patience with yourself and enjoying the newness, because it's not going to be the same. It's going to be different. And having patience with yourself to find your footing in that new perspective. So, and just becoming who you are, becoming this newness of you. It's going to be magical. So, all right, well, there we have the places of opposites for May 31st, which actually covers from the 27th-ish on through to next Wednesday, which is June 6th. I'm so great with dates. Anybody who's watching my videos know I'm not really so great with dates. But anyway, we'll be on into June next week. So take care, enjoy, and we'll see you next time.